Welcome to The Discerning Mother, the podcast for Jesus-loving moms who want to tune out the noise and tune into God's design for motherhood. I'm Brigid, a board-certified women's health coach, holistic health practitioner, birth nerd, and homeschooling mom of 5. I help moms to heal their minds and bodies, trust their instincts, and embrace the beauty of the way God created them. Here we talk about birth, hormones, motherhood, faith, and anything else. Let's go. Hey there, and welcome back to the Discerning Mother podcast. I am Brigid, and today I want to talk to you about the lie of the strong woman. Okay, and I'll be honest, this one is hard for me to talk about because this is one that I still struggle with because of the way that our culture is, because of the way that I was raised. It's just hard for me, and I know that it's hard for a lot of you listening. And so it's the idea that being strong means that you never stop. So you carry it all, you smile through it, you serve, you never fall apart, you just keep going. You're basically like the superwoman, right? Does that sound familiar? So the bad thing though is that we have spiritualized it. We have sanctified it. We've turned it into a virtue, this almost like martyrdom that we have. But really, the version of strength that we see in this is often a trauma response. It's like kind of wrapped up in like a cute outfit. So it's actually kind of productive and helpful, but it's not actually good. And again, I really want to like lovingly call it out because it's keeping you sick. It's keeping you stuck and exhausted. And again, I'm not perfect. I still struggle with this, but I really want to break it down. Okay. So let's talk about how your body interprets strength. So I'm going to get into the biology for a minute because I was a biology major and I thought I was going to become a veterinarian. So I have a love of science, and that's what I'm going to bring to you right now. And I'm not saying this as like a mom and a coach. I'm saying it as somebody who, again, has like studied the nervous system, the endocrine system, how trauma changes your body. And so when you live under chronic stress, whether that is emotional stress, whether it's this birth trauma that you haven't healed, whether it's spiritual abuse, whether it's physical abuse, whatever it is, whether you're trying to do it all, or maybe it's just like the background noise of be everything to everyone, never say no, be the people pleaser, be the good girl, your nervous system is going to adapt. And that's actually a good thing. I think that we sometimes vilify this, but it's actually a good thing. And like it's your body is doing really good work by your nervous system adapting. It's trying to keep you safe. But what's not good is what comes because of that. So being a people pleaser and trying to do what everybody else wants is going to put you into this state of sympathetic dominance. And so essentially what that means is that anytime you have any of these traumas that you don't heal, or again, you're in like this people pleasing state, or you just can't make up your mind, you can't make decisions, you are in basically like a fight or flight, like you're frozen there. So it's either going to be like you fight or you flight. So it can either feel like hyperproductivity, multitasking, or edge of burnout energy. So basically you're surviving, you're functioning, but underneath your body is saying like, I am freaking tired. Like you need to slow down. But your mind is saying like, I can't slow down. I have to keep earning my worth. I have to keep doing it. And so your hypothalamus is essentially, it talks to your pituitary. So your hypothalamus and your pituitary talk. Your pituitary talks to your adrenals. And like, for those ladies with thyroid issues, listen up. Your adrenals start flooding your body with cortisol and adrenaline. Again, none of this is inherently bad. It's just the way that God designed it. So again, it's not bad. It's just, we don't want to live here. And so when this becomes your norm of having these like flooding of cortisol and adrenaline, your brain literally starts to rewire itself to believe that rest equals danger. Okay. And me saying that right now probably is a little bit triggering for you if you struggle with this. So when you try to rest, your body resists it. Laying down on the couch is like, nope, can't do that. I have to get up and do something. Ooh, if somebody walks in on me, like they can't see me laying down. Or if you're outside, like you can't just sit and look up at the clouds. It's like, nope, you have to be doing. When you try to delegate, it's really hard for you not to micromanage or not to say like, well, they're not doing it the way that I want them to do it. They might be doing it right, but they're not doing it the way I want them to do it. Maybe your chest tightens. Maybe whenever you feel no, you feel really selfish, or your throat starts to close up a little bit. And again, I really want to hit home that this is not a weakness. Like this is really your nervous system protecting you in the only way that it knows how. It's not bad. It's not wrong. It's just, it's doing what it's meant to do, but we don't want to live it here. And now if you were raised in a Christian household, you were probably, or even if you just read the Bible and maybe misinterpret it and didn't have like good catechesis or anything like that, you may have been taught that like martyrdom is holy, suffering is sanctifying, motherhood is meant to be exhausting. That's kind of a cultural one there. Saying yes all the time means that you're generous and kind. That's also a cultural one. Needing help means that maybe you're weak or that you lack faith. But I want to clear this up in that this is not what Christ actually modeled. So this is not what the church actually teaches. If you read and if you look at it, Jesus rested. And I talked about this in a previous episode too, of like Genesis and God, where Jesus withdrew. Jesus didn't heal everybody. That's a huge thing to listen to. Jesus didn't heal everyone. He said no, right? He slept. He allowed people to support him. I mean, like, think of the apostles. Like, he had these people around him, these men and women around him who were supporting him. It wasn't all on him to go out and collect the water from the well and, like, do the laundry or pick the, like, it was not all on him. He had people to support him. And so if Jesus, who was fully God, needed rest, needed boundaries, and needed silence, why do we think we're holier for burning ourselves out? So this is where the strong woman lie becomes so dangerous, because it turns performance into almost piety. And instead of growing in virtue, we start growing in resentment. And I know that you know what I'm talking about. All right. And so here is what I see all the time from my clients and myself. So most of what we call strength, in quotation marks, is really just unprocessed trauma that's kind of wrapped up in a nice way. So maybe you'll resonate with some of these. So if it's a woman who, or it's a girl who was told that her needs were too much, that she was too sensitive, or it's a woman who is always the caretaker, but never the one who's actually cared for, or maybe is really uncomfortable if you're cared for. It's a woman who believes everybody else's peace is her responsibility. It's a woman who thinks saying no is selfish and suffering is sanctifying, even if it's self-inflicted suffering. And what happens, though, in the long term is that your adrenals crash, meaning your hormones are going to tank. Low progesterone and estrogen dominance, which is not good, especially if you're trying to have children. Your thyroid slows down, your gut becomes inflamed, your brain starts to get all foggy, your libido vanishes, which think about what that does to your marriage, and you feel like a hollowed out version of yourself. And then, to put a cherry on top, you feel guilty. Because you're the strong one, you shouldn't feel this way. And this is the devil trying to get to you. But I want you to hear these truths, that you were not made to be a machine. You were not made to carry it all. And you truly were made to surrender everything to God and let him take care of it. Because truth strength is not never needing help. Double negatives there. Truth strength is knowing when to ask for help. Truth strength is really sitting with uncomfortable emotions instead of numbing them. Maybe you do that with like the wine at night, or scrolling through your phone, or eating. Truth strength is also admitting when something is not working anymore, and resting when the world screams for more. Okay? It's also about telling the truth, even when it shakes you or was really, really challenging or hard. It's about letting go of the identity that you have built so far to survive and really stepping into this new version of yourself. And so it's what I try to call like holy softness, not because it's weak, but because it's really rooted in Jesus's strength. And this is what Mary did. So she was not like this strong, independent woman, right? Sure, she was strong, she was independent, but that was not her identity. She was one who was surrendered, she was open, she was receptive, and that's the woman that I help my clients return to. And so keeping in mind that the world changes when a woman lives like she belongs to heaven. That's huge. So I want to ask you, what do you recognize, or what do you do if you recognize yourself in this episode? So if you're finding yourself like nodding along, like feeling that lump in your throat, if you're realizing you've just been carrying too much for too long, here's where you start. You regulate your nervous system. There's many other episodes that I've done about that. You rewire your beliefs. So you have to get rid of these identity lies that you have. And this is something we do inside of my program. You have to release that trauma from your body using very specific exercises. You have to reconnect with your feminine design. And I know this one isn't always the most fun to do, especially in this feministic world that we have, but this is so, so important and so hard. And you have to restore the rhythms that God has created for you. Women were not meant to work 24/7. We are not little men. We are meant to rest. We are meant to work, rest, serve, rest, 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 rest. And that's what we do inside of Restored by Grace. And if you want a sneak peek of it, you can join the Dwelling Place. The Dwelling Place is my private community for women who are ready to stop performing, ready to start healing after their experiences. So it's where we reintroduce rest, where we remember the body is good. And we really do this through like slow, holy, uncomfortable, but liberating work of restoration. And again, this is in the dwelling place. And if you're craving deeper, more personalized support, you can apply for private coaching with me. And that's what I'm here for. So you do not have to be the strong woman anymore. You can be a strong woman, but you don't have to be the strong woman anymore. You don't have to keep proving. You get to rest. You get to be loved. And you get to be the woman that lives like she belongs to heaven. All right. See you next time.